Welcome to Metaphysical Insights. I'm Reverend Cindy Paulos, and I have on the line with me Reverend Lynn Williams, and I have the sound of cardinals and birds from Maui with us here.
Good morning, Cindy and everyone, and thank you so much for having me on. You have a cardinal that sings to you in the morning, and we have a nightingale that sings to us all night. So.
There are symphony are kind of a hint of the music of the spheres, I think.
I guess so.
And bless us. Well, this is a different kind of show, Lynn. Reverend Lynn and myself have been friends for a long time. We met back in, let's see, I think it was 1976. Dare I say that? Does that let people know our age? In 1976. When it was the University of Metaphysics, and at the location on La Brea.
The National Metaphysics Institute is what it was. The University of Metaphysics was still, I think, on the drawing board.
Wow.
It was the NMI, and because that's when I first joined the organization and started studying with Dr. Masters. It was the National Metaphysics Institute on La Brea in Los Angeles, California.
Well, through the years we've followed our paths, but we've been actually reunited partly because of this wonderful Facebook site that was created and that you're administrating now, and it's such a beautiful way for so many of the students that are worldwide to meet and connect. I've connected with so many wonderful friends this way, Lynn, and I know that you are expanding it, and there's been, about how many, 100, 200 recently new people that have joined the group?
Yeah, just about 200 in the last couple of months, which has been wonderful because bringing in all this new energy and interest from people that didn't even know we existed has really been wonderful in that not only does it bring us new energy from the members that are studying and who are hungry for information, but it also brings us the ability to connect more spiritually with everyone and share our knowledge and experience. Because I hear so much from the new members, some of the things that they're saying they're faced with were the very things we were struggling with and trying to work through when the group started. How long has it been? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? And so we have the experience now to be able to share some of what we've learned over the last few years with the people who are coming along. Even some of them are coming along behind us as new students, but others have been through the university already, but maybe never connected as alumni with us. So it's a nice mix, and I'm enjoying it.
It really is, and I think over the years I've actually only probably met 4 that I can think of the members, but I certainly feel like I know the rest, and over the time and through conventions and other things, it gives you a reason if you are going to like the convention or going to some city and you know someone's there and you kind of made friends with them through so many conversations on Facebook. It kind of gives us a way to all connect if we go and we think of how there's people all around the world, that we can actually connect and have a worldwide network of prayer and good thoughts and communication that's all positive in a very unique way because, as you know, Dr. Masters taught us all how to meditate, how to go within, and how to really have a direct connection to the inner source, the one source. I have, through the years, actually, even when I was back there in Los Angeles on La Brea Avenue, I've been doing radio, so that's a long time. And, of course, one of the ways I like to commune is by communication. And so that's when I decided to start the 24/7 internet station I have, which you can hear on KUOSFM.com, and Dr. Masters' weekly lecture and meditation and a mystical insight, which I read one of his, our broadcast on Sunday mornings. And 3 times a day during the week, I have his different daily messages running in the morning, at midday, and in the afternoon. But I wanted to open it up to even more because I found out, Lynn, over the years that it's one thing to see a picture and it's one thing to read a bio, but I have found when we have conversations with people that it brings them to life. It gives them dynamics. So I've recorded now I think 5 or 6 different talks I've had on Sunday mornings called Metaphysical Insights. By the way, they're all posted on Spreaker under Metaphysical Insights. And they are going to be on the brand new website. The University of Sedona's going to be premiering their new metaphysics.com website with the different shows and recordings we've been doing on, including yours. The first one was with you. And then there's been some other lovely ones through time. Now, I want to open it up to other people as well to do, but today we thought we'd open up the phone lines if anyone did have questions or wanted to be part of this or talk. People maybe who've been part of the metaphysical group, they can call in at 619-638-8486. I thought it would really be nice for us to kind of have our own interesting communication on Sunday, although some people, Lynn, on Sunday, that's their day off and they like to have it with their family, which I understand, and we're in time zone differences. I'm all the way here in Maui, which is 3 hours behind you, and I'm sure there's some people on the East Coast, which is 6 hours ahead, and some people in Europe, which is 12 hours ahead from where I am right now. But if anyone wants to call in, they can at 619-638-8486, so we can have some conversations about metaphysics. Because isn't it interesting, Lynn, how you found even through Facebook how there's so many different faces and interpretations and ways of living metaphysics?
Oh, absolutely. And, this group has really been a godsend for those of us that want to connect more with each other. Because, like you mentioned, we're all over the world. We're in all different time zones. And through the group, we were able to come together and, if not speak with each other directly, although I've spoken with quite a few members, we've private messaged each other and exchanged phone numbers. And, of course, you and I know each other personally. For those who don't know, Cindy was one of my first metaphysical teachers way back when we mentioned, the early days of the university when Dr. Masters was teaching live, and Cindy was one of the teachers on staff. And that's how I met her. She was one of my first mentors, and we became friends, and it's lasted all this time. But the group allows us to reconnect because we have gone our separate ways, and life had intervened. But for those of us who have gone through the university or still are going through the university, the group allowed us all to come together through the common teachings of Dr. Masters with that energy to unite us, even though we are so very different culturally, racially, geographically, and even in some of our belief systems, because we pretty much cover the spectrum of religious, spiritual philosophies and experiences. So it's a very valuable and very wonderful place to be able to come together, share our differences, and find more ways to come together as we realize that even though there are some fundamental differences in what we may believe or speak or teach, there's still that common thread of everything is God, and that allows us to agree to disagree and learn from each other. And, I went and looked in the group. I'm sitting here on the group page now, and we actually started this group back in 2012. It's been 4 years.
Not really?
Yes, I'm looking at some of the dates that some of the documents were created, because the group doesn't really tell you when it started, but I'm looking at where we posted the first version of the IMM ministry vows. Remember when people were talking about the vows that we take when we become a minister? And it was April 16, 2012, and we had been together before then, so we're just about celebrating our 4th anniversary now. And I'm going to put the date, I'm trying to narrow it down, to put the date in the description so that we can actually know that we have been together as an alumni group for over 4 years.
Well, I think it's really a wonderful gift, and it's kind of interesting to me that, I mean, I thought of, I had in the last few weeks Dr. Regina Decker on, and when I went to Los Angeles, I know she lives part-time in Glendale, so we actually got together for a cup of coffee, and it was so nice, and it was like meeting up with an old friend, although, you know, and I saw her when I went to one of the conventions, and I was able to sit with her and her husband, and so these are the ways we form a community. And with Dr. Masters passing, I know that he really wanted his legacy carried on. It was very, very important to him. It's different with the legacy, I think, of metaphysical practitioners than it might be with other kinds of religions. Dr. Masters always made it clear that it wasn't just a religion. It wasn't like other religions. We're connected with our inner masters, our inner truth. Dr. Masters, you know, believed in life after death, and I know he's in some very nice higher realms, and I feel so many connections so many times, and even through dreams and other times he comes to join us. But he would want our legacy carried on, of course, not through just honoring him, but through us each fulfilling our purpose in life and our destiny. This is the legacy, the living legacy. Because if you think of the thousands of people, and now I think there's about 500 in the Facebook group right now.
558.
558. Now that's just a very small percentage of the people around the world that are members and alumni of the University of Sedona now. So it's just a little cross section of what is going on out there. And when we began, Lynn, I mean, there really were not many people at all who knew the term metaphysics. Did you encounter that?
Oh yeah, you know, when I first started studying with him back in 1977, 76, metaphysics, it was so foreign and so new. In fact, that's how I connected with the Institute, was I looked it up in the dictionary to see what it meant, because back then we were just beginning to explore meditation, and the transcendental meditation was the big thing, and it was still suspect. And, you know, and religion, traditional religion, really shunned a lot of the new thought, which at that point in time, it didn't even have a name. We were just beginning to explore and begin to recognize what it was. We were beginning to look at things of paranormal nature. We were beginning to look at branching out and exploring new spirituality. Eastern mysticism was starting to come into America, and this was not necessarily well received. So when we first started, it was kind of, in fact, I remember at the time I was married to my first husband, and I grew up in a Baptist church, and my husband's family were founders of the church where we were, and his father was a deacon and his mother was a deaconess and all that. So it was very entrenched. My mother was the organist of the church. And I remember as I started studying with Dr. Masters, and my mind started shifting, and I started learning and becoming really attached and moving into this new philosophy, which was much more suitable for me and what I believed and thought. My father-in-law called me a witch. He said I was studying witchcraft, and that I was, through the belief that they have doomed to go to hell, and my soul was cursed, and he would pray over me, or at least try to, and bless me and all this stuff, hoping that I would be cured. And, it was kind of like, I knew better. I was already evolved past that stage, and I knew better, so it didn't scare me, but it was just kind of shocking that he would think I was studying, quote unquote, the devil, and that I was being lost. So it just helped me move away from all of that dogma and all of that negative thinking. But at the same time, there was all of this publicity about people who had joined some of the groups and had become, what did we call them? I forgot what we called them back then. But there were these groups of people that would, become
thinking of the word cult. Yes.
Yeah, the code. And there was all this stuff about people's family